What's going on, everybody? Josh, starterraingutterbusiness.com. Got a cool one for you today and a beautiful mountain scene. We're doing some box gutter, box downspout, and solving some problems. So let's get started. First, I'll show you guys what we have for box gutter. We're doing the 6-inch Euro box using custom built coil. So we have kind of a darker color on the inside. And show you guys what we're doing over here. All right, so this is the place. Pretty cool custom home. Okay, so we're gonna start out. We're doing, we're basically covering that upper roof. When I pull up to a place like this and try to make sure they figure out where they want the water. So figure out what they want to make sure and get covered. So obviously that upper roof drains onto the driveway, and then snow and ice in the winter, it'll be helpful to keep it off of this lower pitched roof. So we're going to be covering those 2 pitches of roof up there, and then also putting a gutter on this lower roof to divert all the water over to a big box downspout in the corner over here. They have a French drain pipe. So we're going to be getting all that water from the upper roof into this lower, down into the pipe. So a couple things I was looking at when I get here. Box gutter is really hard to do compound miters on. You can't just do it like you normally would a K-style because the bottom is so big, especially like 6-inch, big 6-inch flat panel. You can't go down corners very well with it. So I'm thinking for this upper section, they're wanting to do compound miters over, and I'm thinking it's going to look a lot cleaner to put a gutter up, cut into the face of that gutter, run a box downspout down, run this lower gutter long, and butt that into the back of that lower gutter. Make everything as flush as possible so it looks like a gutter corner, but it'll be enclosed. This driveway comes down into the house, so if I did put a box gutter to connect those two on that compound miter, you'll be able to see the hangers in there, and they look kind of, you know, I mean, we could paint them, but you'll see, like, even if you painted them, you'll see them as like cleats, you know, they'll kind of stand out. So a big 4-inch 4x4 box downspout connecting that upper gutter to the lower gutter at the same pitch of the fascia, I think it'll look better and cleaner. So that covers that. Downspout on that goes to the left of that window. And up in the mountains here, we try to control that water. So I'm going to go down the window, down the roof, and then drop it into this lower gutter instead of just dumping it onto the roof. So then we'll run heat cable in that, and there'll be a nice, that heat cable will cut an ice channel, keep all that thawed out, and run that water year long to this drain. So it'll all be heated. That way you're not causing damage with, you know, ice dumping onto that roof, causing ice problems in the future. We have 2 different styles of roof here. This entryway porch roof is very flat, like looks like half 12. So we want to make sure we're getting under that drip edge good. I'm gonna probably slide that gutter under the drip edge and then put the hangers on top of the drip edge with rubber roofing screws to make sure that's all sealed up, and we'll get them just very minimal pitch over to this box downspout. Like I said, that box downspout's 4x4, so that'll help with the decent volume of water we have off both these roofs. So there's my problem solving. Now let's get the problem solved and get the job done. All right, so a couple things I'm looking at this lower one. The upper one's pretty normal, just style D drip edge. It is notched. They must have put that temporary gutter on before it got roofed, so all the drip edge is notched. So I'll make sure that's all bent really well and flowing into the new gutter and hidden so you don't see those notches. This lower one, since I'm gonna tuck that up under that big drip edge, I need to make sure and pre-notch this end. So I want my gutter to butt into this wall nice and tight. And I'm going to pre-notch the end of the drip edge to make sure my end cap can go up high enough. And then I also have to deal with the corner, because if I slide my corner up in that bigger drip edge, I won't be able to seal seal my corner up, the back of my corner up. So I have to notch that drip edge out a little bit to make sure I can get a good seal on that new gutter. And then the next spot over is it goes into another rock wall. So we're also gonna be notching that drip edge. So that's what we'll start with. Oh no. Bubble past the line. Oh no. All right, so one thing I like to look at, especially in these custom jobs, I want this gutter to look visually on this as nice as possible. So I'll come up before I hang my gutter, look eyesight kind of down this, see if there's any waves in the roof that I'm gonna have to kind of navigate when I'm hanging the gutter. And then something like this. This is a free floated iron beam that's cantilevered out over this entryway, like 15 feet. So in my experience, they're always pitched either really hard the right way or really hard the wrong way. And lucky for us, this is really hard the wrong way. The wrong way. So yeah, we'll kind of just see how it goes here. All right, so we got our gutter run out. We're cutting an outside corner. This first one's gonna be with flaps since it goes around the corner. This way, I always try to lay those flaps into the downhill gutter. So we always measure the back of the gutter. And then this, I always trace a line. I don't have a template for this box gutter, but so I always trace a line with my square, and this has really boxy ends. So I just put my square up on the bottom of the gutter, trace it, square down the front. And if you make everything square, all those cuts square, bends square, then that kind of, when you rivet your corner together, it forces it into a square shape. So if you like tip this one way or the other, or do something weird, then that makes the appearance of the gutter change. So since this is going so far under that drip edge, it's really hard to get it up there with hangers. So I like to just set these in the bottom of the gutter. That way they're right in front of me. And I can install them after I get this slid under that drip edge. So I just went ahead and tacked that middle, no hanger or anything, just threw it through. I'll just check my ends. Looks like I could probably come to the corner a little bit. I did run this a hair short just so I didn't, this uneven rock is a little bit hard to judge where this end cap's gonna hit first. So ran it just a hair short, and there's no draining face right above that anyways. So I think I'll run it this way a hair, and then it'll be ready to screw off. So when I'm lining these up, before I tack the gutter off, I just make sure that this other gutter is gonna intersect with this point. So I try to line up this corner, the corner of this tab, with my fascia corner. And it looks good. Real good. Okay, so this is actually going, I was just started out by tacking this off every about 5 feet just to see how my level showed it was going to be really bad over at the beginning, but it's doing really well. I'm just, there's this fascia board, bare wood fascia board, and I'm just trying to stay as flush as I can with that, and I'm okay if that drops down probably up to about an inch before I'm going to get worried about it. These need a lot of strength. I mean, this is clear up in the mountains, so it's not going to be uncommon for them to have 10 feet of snow on this roof. So that's why we have so many hangers in, using beefier screws. It's hard to kind of think about these things through the summer, especially when you first get started. And but once you kind of gain experience through the years, you understand, okay, these things, even though it's warm today, they're going to have to survive the winter. So I did leave a little bit of gap at my end, just so this gutter has a little bit of room for expansion contraction. Won't oil can quite as bad. And yeah, it's going really well so far, so I'm going to keep on tacking. Okay, one thing to mention with these hangers, so I have them all in the gutter, but if you try to put these in, install them right next to a screw you have done, doesn't work. It's really easy to ding up this front, kink it, whatever. So put the hangers in ahead of time before you start leveling it, and a few past like the screw that you're going to tack off. That way you don't have to worry about denting the gutter or anything. I just kind of put them in as far as I can reach usually. And then now that I have like 3 or 4 past here, I'll probably tack here and I'll be good. Okay, so I got this other gutter up, corners coming together. What I look at when I'm putting these corners together is the bottom, this back thing, make sure those are nice and tight with each other, and then this front, and then the top is variable because you can kind of move it wherever. So I don't pay attention to the top at first. I get the bottom all tied together and then make this front look nice and square. So it looks like I need to trim just a hair off of this front lip, which is fine, easy to do. But that's kind of what I'm looking at when I put these things together. This has such a big fat bottom, flat bottom, that I put four rivets on each, on the bottom of each corner, just to help everything stay together really well. Maybe. All right, so on to the downspout, box downspout. This is how I've been bending my box downspouts lately. So basically it just closes together on one side, rivets together, and call her good. The downfall of that is on thicker metal like this. They can't quite close that all the way with the brake, and so you get all this tied in and it kind of turns into a little bit of a diamond shape, so you kind of got to work with that and try to straighten it out as you go. But usually what I try to do for a lot of these fancier houses always have like a drop, so I make my top leg and then it's gonna go at a 70-degree angle over this way to that window and then straight down. And what I'll do is measure from my gutter down to that beam, add 4, which is the thickness of the downspout, and that should get us to clear that beam, and then measure from the wall to the outside edge of your outlet and add 1, and that gives you the added length you need for the angle. So that's what I got. I got marks on here, and we'll go ahead and get that going. I found a cool new tool that you guys got to check out that has been sped this up a little bit. I've always not liked using skill saws on this stuff because the fence on the skill saw scratches both sides of the metal with all the metal shrapnel. And this thing, I just do a rough cut with it. It's called a nibbler. I'm sure you guys have seen it before, but I have never used one for box downspouts, and they work pretty dang good. So it just cuts out little pieces, and it can go around the corners on this thing. I do a rough cut about a 1/4 inch away from my line, and then I can just clean it up with tin snips, and works pretty sweet. So this is 24 gauge sheet metal box downspout, no problem. Even through a hem, and you don't even like hear the difference in the cutting difficulty. It's pretty sweet. So I just cut it a little bit off my line because this kind of leaves a jagged edge, so I can just trim it up with tin snips. Nice. Okay, elbow done. So here's that diamond shape I was telling you about. So I just usually, this thicker gauge metal is worse, like 26 gauge doesn't do it near as bad, but I usually just kind of flex that out with my hands. So I'll work on that. box downspout done. If you guys want to see how to build these things, which are definitely not my favorite, we're going to be doing a bunch of jobs this summer with these box downspouts. So make sure you comment below. Let us know that you guys want to, if you guys want to see more of this kind of thing. Everything turned out really good. So definitely caused some heartache, but we got her done. Looks nice. And there you have it. Sweet gutter system on a cool house, complete. Turned out really good. If you guys want to see a separate video on that little jumper downspout between the two upper roofs, we'll have a link for it right here. Check it out. Make sure and like, subscribe. See you on the next one. Thanks a lot.